Greetings, G humans, G aliens, and supporters. This is Orev Shalom, and this is, I guess I'm gonna do a Shabbat study. It's the Sabbath. It's something to help everyone keep the Lord on their minds. I was praying and talking to God, preparing for something, and as I was praying, you know, and he just brought the story of Peter to my attention, and I was just praying to him, and I was getting revelation about that I had never received about that story before, and it strengthened my faith, and it gave me something else to strive towards, a deeper understanding, a deeper faith, a deeper commitment with the Most High God. And I want to share that with you, right? It's the Sabbath, so I think this would be great for everyone to meditate and pray on and, strengthen themselves and get closer to the Most High God in your personal walks. All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm going to be reading from Matthew chapter 14, verses 15 through 33. I guess there's no need for me to wait for you to get to it because you can simply pause the video. Alright, so here we go. When it was evening, the disciples came to him saying, "This is a deserted place, and the hour is already late. Send the multitudes away, that they may go into the villages and buy themselves food." Now, but Jesus said to them, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." And they said to him, "We have here only 5 loaves and 2 fish." Now, I'm going to stop right there. I like that. Now, keep in mind, by this time, they had seen Jesus do all kinds of miracles, all kinds of miraculous wonders and everything. And it's like, it shows you how in the instinct of things, you can lose sight of all those miracles, all that faith. And it's like whatever is presented to you, to your eyes, it's like that's just what you see. And it's amazing how quickly they processed it. We can't feed them. We only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. Like they were in their situation, and this is a point of them being in the situation that they're in, and they're not thinking supernatural. They're not, out of all the miracles and all the wonders they have seen the Son of God do, they're still, it didn't latch on. Their first instinct was, "Man, this is all we got." Right? I noticed that right away. On verse 18, he said, Jesus, "Bring them here to me." Then he commanded the multitudes to sit down on the grass. And he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and broke and gave the loaves to the disciples. And the disciples gave to the multitudes. So they all ate and were filled, and they took up 12 baskets full of the fragments that remained. Now those who had eaten were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. So in all honesty, it was a lot more than 5,000. That was just 5,000 men. It was also women and children, and they all ate. And not only that, but they had 12 full baskets of leftovers. And I guess it's like right here, this is the Son of God actually teaching his disciples a lesson. Like, this is what's presented to you in the natural, and they let their mind be wrapped and confined into what was presented to them in the natural. But right here we see the Son of God. That's what was presented to the natural. He looked up to the heaven, and he talked to God, and he blessed their food. He blessed and broke and gave loaves, and it kept multiplying into enough to feed over 5,000 human beings, and it was enough for 12 baskets of leftovers. And that was a lesson that I'm peeping in, how to ignore situations that's in your face. Like, so what if you only have 5 loaves and 2 fish? It's like, don't limit yourself to the understanding of what's going on in your face. The Son of God did it. He showed them what to do. He showed us all what to do in a situation like that. When the world is telling you one thing and you have a need, and this world is telling you that this need is next to impossible. No, it ain't next. If you're trying to feed over 5,000 people and you only have 5 loaves and 2 fish, as long as you think within those boundaries, that is an impossible situation. If you would just think it logically, it just can't be done. You just need to send these people home so they can go get something to eat before it gets dark. Son of God broke the rules of this world, broke the rules of this plane, of this existence. And faith in his Father will do that. You can break these rules. You can break whatever it is that's trying to tell you it's one thing. You don't have to obey that. No one who serves the Most High God should be in a position to where earth can just tell you what something is and you just have to submit, and that's just the way it is, and you lose. If you're like that, then you're simply operating within the boundaries of the situations presented to you. And you're not using and exercising your faith and your personal relationship with the Most High God as the Son of God did right here. Man, just that one part is already like, okay, y'all, here we go. Let's continue. Verse 22. Immediately, Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Now I thought of this is where it hit home. This is where it just really started hitting my spirit with me, because I thought about how I can be in a position where the Most High God can really show me something supernatural. A great miracle of the Most High God can happen right there in my face, and I'm just like, wow. Like, and I actually saw that. Like, that could literally have made scripture. Like, that was amazing. And I thank him and I praise him, and I'm filled with joy and energy and hunger and all kind of things for the Most High God. Right? Now, the Son of God sent his disciples away before him, and he was going to meet them. Now, when he sent them away, even after seeing what they just saw, once again, they were, as we will read, they were beginning to fall victim into the situation. Like, that's why the boat was tossed by the waves and the wind. Like, they don't realize that they're not like the Son of God just fed over 5,000 people with a little or nothing. He prayed and blessed the food and broke it off, and we just watched it multiply. And now they're on the boat without him, and it's getting tossed around by the storm and the waves. And it's like you can tell that they were afraid. Like, this is something that was troublesome to them. Instantly they began to, maybe they was taking extra precautions and worried for their life and panicking, and I'm sure nobody was comfortable on that boat. Like the Son of God would send them into something that would destroy them. But that's the power of this earth realm. It's trying to tell them something, show them things, to get them worried, to make them doubt, to make them fearful. And I've had that happen. You be on this spiritual high from the Most High God, and then a little bit later something will happen, and you'll get so wrapped up in the things that are happening to you It's, in all honesty, you forget about everything and you're just caught up in the situation trying to deal with that situation within its rules. It happens to me all the time. All the time. It happens to me. And it's just like, man. Oh. I saw this, so let me keep going. Now in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It's a ghost." And they cried out for fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid." And I've had, I've experienced things, supernatural things, that in all honesty was the Most High God trying to communicate with me or trying to let me know something. And I mean, it scared me. I was afraid. I wasn't sure what it was. It was just something terrifying. And I'm sure that during that time, as I think back about what happened, I more understand and receive it today. But during that moment, during that instant, I was just terrified, and it blocked me from having the understanding that I have about it today. And it shows you how when the Most High God really gets to doing supernatural things in your life, like it's not always this peachy cool kind of thing that you just know it's God. A lot of stuff, it can be scary to see something extremely supernatural. It can be scary. And then that's why he was letting his disciples know that this is not an act. You should be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid. And in this verse 28, and Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So Jesus said, "Come." And when Peter had come, now, hold on me before I go. Now, Peter had to have had more than a mustard seed of faith in this situation. But let's just say, in all honesty, it was that faith that got him out the boat. He went over the boat. It's storming, it's raging, it's raining probably. It's a chaotic sea. And he asked Jesus to come to him, and his trust in the Son of God was so good that he actually climbed climbed out of the ship and lowered himself down into the water to stand on that water in the sea and walk toward him, because that's what his faith was, right? It was so good. He trusted. He knew that his Lord would not let him drown. He trusted him. That's trust. That's an incredible amount of trust just to even get out of the boat. And when I think about that seriously, and I put myself in Peter's shoes, I'm like, man, I would have had problems right there, just jumping out of the boat to stand on water. Don't even think about walking on water, but that's just to stand on it. So that shows that Peter had trust in the Son of God. And let's see. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." Now, this is good, because right here it said Peter actually not only stood on the water, he got out of the boat and he jumped on the water. That's tons of faith. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what anybody believes. That's tons of faith in itself to me. That's beyond a mustard seed to jump over a boat when you see the son of God in the distance like that, and to go greet him, and just because he said come, and for you to actually trust that you can walk like on the water to him, like that's, for him to even start it is an incredible amount of faith. And then when he began to walk, it means that he didn't sink. He was walking towards the Son of God. And that means that in that moment, all he was concerned about was that his Lord gave him permission to do it, and he trusted his Lord, so he did it. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to. He gave me permission. I know I can do it then. He ain't never lied to anybody. He don't play tricks and games. And he did it, and he walked, and it was working. He was like, yes, I'm doing it. And I can't believe this. And I'm sure that when he thought that I'm actually walking on water, it's like, it showed me how God can bless a person with something so great that even while it's happening, if your faith isn't up to snuff, the blessing alone can make you lose faith. And it's like, I wonder, it's like, why I don't have certain things, or why it's certain blessings that haven't been bestowed to me yet. And it's like, in saying this, it's like, you get a blessing bigger than what you can handle, you'll have it, and you won't even believe you have it. And your lack of faith will make you lose blessings. And we have blessings, and it just made it plain as obvious that, man, we have blessings according to what we trust him for. He can't give you something that, well, you know what? He can give you something that's bigger than what you have faith for. But he knows the consequences of it. He knows what'll happen if he actually give you something so miraculous, and that even while it's happening, you begin to not believe it, because it's just something. I can't believe this is happening. And that's what Peter had to have experienced, because as he was walking, he looked at the storms, and he looked at the winds, and it's like it clicked. He took his eyes off of Jesus, and he took his focus off of his faith, and he looked around, and he's like, man, I'm actually out here. And the wind was blowing, and it was this surroundings, it was this earth realm existence, it was things going on this plane. It robbed him of his focus from the Most High God. It robbed him of the faith from his Son, and he began to get scared, and he began to sink. Now, I like that he didn't sink immediately. Like, it doesn't say that he just fell to the bottom, he just started falling under the water, and he was drowning. Like, it doesn't say that he sunk quickly, but it was a gradual thing on how he sunk. And because I'm thinking that even though he was beginning to doubt, everything he was saying was beginning to take more of a hold on him than the Son of God, he still had great amount of faith. Even in his doubt, he still had great amount of faith, but he was sinking. Not fast, but sinking. He was losing his faith based off of what he was seeing, what he was feeling, the fear that was inside of being swallowed by the waves, and it's just not natural for any of this to be happening anyway. And it just, that faith that had him jump over the boat and had him walking towards the Son of God was leaving him slowly, because he was getting absorbed into his situation. And that's what the Son of God showed them prior to this situation, with feeding over 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. He was showing them that in a more safe manner, look, don't give in just because this life is trying to tell you this is the way it is. Servants of the Most High God who are true, who love him with all of their heart, soul, strength, and understanding, who love their neighbor like they love themselves, servants of the Most High God, real servants, people who have given their lives to him, who love him. They don't have to accept anything that this world is trying to tell them that it is. You talk to your Father and he will fix it. It will bend. It will break all the rules that average people who aren't into the Most High God and have that relationship with him, they just wouldn't believe, wouldn't even consider it's possible. You can break this stuff. This stuff doesn't dictate. That's what the Son of God was showing them when feeding the over 5,000. He was showing them that don't let your circumstances dictate to you what it is and what's going on. Let the Most High God dictate to you what it is and what's going on. And he is a God that can do all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He can do all things. So anything that needs to be done, and not wicked stuff. We know what we talking about, y'all. Not that crazy mess, but you know what the will of God is. You know what it is. Well, I hope you know what it is. I won't assume, but whatever it is for your life, like you know what having faith in him is. You know when you're doubting. You know when you're not trusting like you should. And you don't have to obey these circumstances. Forget these circumstances. Obey the Most High God. And whatever is needed, you call to him. You pray to him immediately. And you ask him to bless this situation. And you move forward knowing it's blessed. Knowing that the provision is met. And immediately, Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." The Son of God asked him, "Why did you doubt? Oh, you of little faith." I mean, that's Peter. These are his disciples. And he had to, I guess he knew what he was showing them. He knew all the great miracles that they were seeing. And he's just like, why did you doubt? Like, why would you think? In a nutshell, this is paraphrasing, y'all. This is not in the scripture, but this is just where I'm going with it. You know, he had to have wondered, like, why did you think I would send you out into an ocean to be destroyed by some little petty storm? You think I would send you out to wait for me into a situation where your lives could be claimed? I asked you to come to me. You got off the boat because you knew it was me. If you didn't really have faith that it was me, he wouldn't have even tried to get off the boat. He would have been like, I don't know. I don't think you're my Lord. I don't think who are you? Like he would have doubted at that point. The fact that he jumped overboard and he stood on the water, that lets us all know that he knew that was his Lord. And he knew what he was doing. So as he walked, and I think that's why the Most High God, the Son of the Most High God, asked, like, why, oh, you of little faith? Like, why did you doubt? He's like, you know it was me. You knew that I'm the one that called you out to the ocean out to the sea to me. I gave you permission to come. Like, so what the winds were storming? So what everything around you looked like it was just for the worst? It's like, you're out here by my orders. And you're coming towards me. And not only are you coming towards me, but you see that I am protecting you. You see that because of my say-so, you are walking on the water. The waves and the winds and the storms are doing nothing to you. You are coming towards me. and I'm standing out in the way on the water. I'm right here. And but when he began to just look at everything, and it's just like, how, I guess you can say he began to have more faith that those winds and storms would claim his life than he had in the faith that the Son of the Most High God called him to him. And he lost it. The conditions of the world won. And he began to sink. The Son of God saved him. He's not going to let nothing happen to him. He saved him. He stretched out his hand and caught him. But he did ask, why did you doubt? You of little faith. He didn't say no faith, but it's little faith. Like, and he wanted them. He expected more of them. Don't get caught up in this mess that's going on trying to tell you one thing. You just focus on what I'm telling you. You focus on what I'm saying, what I commanded. And everything on this world will yield to you. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things will be added to you as well. It's so much on this earth. It's so much listening to everything that this realm has to say, and listening to everything that other people are saying, and letting these situations make you feel fearful and afraid, and all kind of things. There's so many things distracting us from the Most High God and from serving him correctly and having the proper faith. And he's like, man, all that would have been avoided. That would have been a situation Peter would have passed with flying colors if he just could have kept his eyes on the Son of God. If he just could have kept his mind on what the Son of God gave him authority to do. Man, it was amazing, and it teaches me that. And wow, this went on way longer than I thought. We're at 27 minutes. But man, it got good. It was a great revelation, and I'm hoping it lets me upload it, and I look forward to sharing this with you. I'm sure that someone will be blessed in their personal walk just as I was. Everyone have a happy, blessed, safe, kingdom, God-fearing Sabbath. Keep Sabbath to the absolute max of your understanding. And remember, love the Most High God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your strength, and with all of your understanding. And love your neighbor as yourself. Kingdom key, y'all. Rules number 1 and 2. LR 1A2. That's what that living rules 1 and 2. That's what the LR 1A2 is. Thank you for watching. Music wise, new single, Fear Love Obey God, level 21, featuring Angela Blair and Orbit, is done. We're getting it together now, and it should be coming out within a few months. It should be out there. I really think people are gonna love it, and you know, the people predestined to love it. I'm so excited for you, because I know it's a percentage of y'all that the Most High God has just anointed this song to just be for you, to get you, to inspire you towards him, to stir up that hunger and that passion. And I'm excited for you, because oh man, those who God have ordained to really be blessed by this song, you are in for a total treat, kingdom treat. And you can also pick up anyone who would like to be a supporter of Orev Shalom. You can pick up bottom to the top, level 19, featuring Ashley Fagu. It's available at digital downloads, digital stores everywhere. Available for download anywhere you look. That's the current single that's out now. Please, any questions or anything you would like to talk with me about privately, or you would like a question answered or hear my opinion about some things, please email me at godirecords@gmail.com. Everything is spelled out correctly. Alright? Thank you. May the Lord strengthen his relationship with us all. Shalom.